It's still true. The more work experience you have, the less anyone will care about what you did in college. Interviewers tend to care most about real-world, on-the-job problems and solutions. But if you're fresh out of college or still consider yourself a recent graduate, then the following questions are directed to you. This section is designed to guide the relatively inexperienced candidate facing that age-old catch-22. You need training to get the job. But how can you get that seasoning if you can't get a job? You want to portray yourself as a well-rounded person while you were in college. If you weren't a member of many official school clubs or teams, talk about other activities you engaged in during school. Did you work part-time? Tutor other students? Work for additional course credit? What extracurricular activities were you involved in? What made you choose those? Which of them did you most enjoy, and why? Interviewers are looking for industrious people, not individuals who do just enough to eke by. So this isn't a good place to joke, "Well, John, I didn't do much but drink beer on weekends," especially if it's true. In fact, there probably is never a good time to joke during an interview. After all, one person's innocent joke is another's reason, unfair or not, to reject a candidate. What led you to select your major, your minor? Which of the courses did you like most or least? If you were a liberal arts major, talk about the skills you developed in some of your courses: writing ability, debating and language skills, analytical tools. Assuming that you took courses related to the job at hand, focus only on those that are pertinent. Those courses you mention as your least favorite should be any that are not directly related to your eventual career. Try to develop answers that have to do with the subject rather than the workload or the professor's personality. Talking about troubles with an authority figure will introduce a possible negative into your current candidacy. And complaining about too much work is not the best way to impress any prospective boss, especially these days when staff cutbacks mean you'll probably be called upon to handle more work than your predecessors, with less money, less time, and less help. If you were to start college over again tomorrow, what are the courses you would take? Why? Think about changes you would make in your course selections that would have produced a better candidate for this job. Should you have taken more marketing courses? An accounting course? An economics seminar? Don't be afraid to admit that it took you a while to find the right course of study. Then talk about how courses unrelated to your career were valuable in your development. No company really believes that you're going to hit the ground running right out of college or graduate school. Training and on-the-job seasoning will be necessary to make you productive. So you can count on an interviewer doing a bit of probing, trying to determine how trainable you are. What did you learn from the internships listed on your resume? Stress how the real-world internships you've had complemented your academic training, but never pretend that college is where you learned the secret of life. No interviewer is going to react favorably to someone who acts like he or she already knows it all. In what courses did you get your worst grades? Why? How do you think that will affect your performance on the job? Many companies will ask to see copies of your college transcripts if you don't have any real work background, so you might as well spill the beans now. If you flunked every accounting course, you're probably not applying for an accounting job, right? So, hopefully, you can blame any bad grades you may have received in some of your electives on the amount of time and effort you were putting into your major. Especially when you're young, changes in direction are common. Changes are hard enough to live through without getting grilled about them. But when the interviewer asks about one of your 180-degree turns, you've got to respond. Why are you applying for a job in a field, or working in a field, other than the one in which you have your degree? If you're applying for a retail management position and your degree is in geology, there's a good chance you'll be asked this question. But count on it, it's not the first time this employer has encountered someone like you. In today's job market, changing careers is common, and there's nothing unique about going into a field different than the one you majored in. So what do? You know you've piqued the employer's interest enough to get an interview, so relax and answer the question. Keep it brief and positive. You've reassessed your career goals. You enjoy customer contact, the competitive nature of sales, and the varied management responsibilities required in retail. You've decided it's the career you want to pursue. Then it may be a good idea to pause and ask, have I answered your question? Give the interviewer an opportunity to state concerns about your qualifications. If he or she does so, be prepared to show how the skills required in your degree field transfer to the field in which you're seeking employment. You can use the same strategy with your prior work experience.